Hello, you beautiful, beautiful people. Today we're jumping into spring, the final season of Series 37, which brings with it a brand new festival playlist and this week's Forzathon challenges, Everyday Hero, which we will be completing today. There's all important 200 Forzathon points and the much needed 15% towards our festival playlist. So if you are new around here, definitely consider subscribing. A like rating would be much appreciated, a positive comment if you'd like to leave one, and let's go complete this week's Forzathon challenges. This wouldn't be a Skippy weekly Forzathon video if I didn't mention Lake Lodge. Do you own it? If not, why not? It will double all Forzathon points for all Forzathon activities, daily Forzathon challenges, weekly Forzathon challenges, and Forzathon lives every hour on the hour. Now, the house can be quite expensive at 5 million credits, or it is free if you have the VIP pass. Now, for this week's Forzathon challenges Everyday Hero, we are in retro saloons, and just like last week's, there are plenty of cars to choose from. I, however, am jumping in the 1990s Vauxhall Lotus Carlton. I'm running 1,212 horsepower and four-wheel drive. This car can be picked up for 70,000 credits at the auto show. If you'd like to use my tune, just search my gamer tag Skippy at 4631 or the file name Skippy YouTube. Share code is in description and in the comments below. For this week's festival playlist, your two main prizes for 50% completion is one backstage pass, and for 80% completion is the Ferrari 250 Testarossa. We'll also be checking out the Forzathon shop, the Horizon backstage vote, and the Super 7 reward at the end of the video. But first, let's get this week's Forzathon challenges Everyday Hero completed for those all-important 200 Forzathon points and the much-needed percentage towards this week's Spring Festival playlist. So Chapter 1 then, the whole shebang. Own and drive any retro saloon. Once you have your chosen retro saloon, hop outside your festival house or castle, drive 2 seconds down the road, and the whole shebang completed. So with Chapter 1, the whole shebang completed, owning and driving any retro saloon, is on to Chapter 2, baggage handler. Pack your bags, we're all going on holiday. Drive your retro saloon for a total of 20 miles, preferably to the nearest beach. 20 miles in our retro saloon then. There are a couple of options to get this chapter complete. You can do some races, earning credits, influence and mileage along the way. You can drive aimlessly around the free roam map, or, and it's the quickest method, you can drive up and down the motorway. Here we go then in your chosen retro saloon. Obviously I'm using the Lotus Carlton, 20 miles in total. Let's let it rip. I'm literally just going to drive up and down the motorway, reach the end, spin it round, and come back. It is one of the quickest ways of getting this chapter complete. While I complete my 20 miles in my retro saloon, I want to give a massive shout out to all the channel members. James, Peter, James, Assumed, Justin, Victor, Hardy, Rod, VP Gaming, The Unpersoning, FH4 Player, Zeta, Pearl Jam, Peter, Dragon, Terry, Stephen, Kevin, Carlton, Easy, and Owen. Thank you all so much for going that extra mile to support the channel. If you too want to become a member, there is a link in the description and also a link on the channel page. And after 5 minutes or so of racing up and down the motorway, that's baggage handler complete. So with Chapter 2, baggage handler complete, driving a total of 20 miles in our retro saloon. It's on to Chapter 3, run of the mill. Turn the ordinary into extraordinary by earning 3 stars at the Broadway windmill danger sign with a retro saloon. And this chapter is probably the trickiest this week. Before this chapter, head on into your map and filter by danger signs, making them that little bit easier to see and find. Now the danger sign we're looking for is located way down in the south, just to the left of Broadway. It is called the Broadway windmill, and we need a 1,200 foot jump. I would suggest coming in from the left is the only way you can come in from, and taking the biggest run up you can in your retro saloon. I'm going to go from here, this little fork in the road. Here we go then in our retro saloon, our Vauxhall Lotus Carlton, 1,200 horsepower. Let's let it rip. 1,200 feet is the 3-star objective. As much speed as we can going off the jump. Go a little bit easy through here. Get the power down through this corner at 180. Power down, full throttle. Let's go up into 5th, 200 miles an hour. Keep it going. Do not let up. Let's go, let's go. 5th gear off the ramp, 230 miles an hour. into the yellow field, 1,431.41 feet, 3 stars, and run of the mill completed. Not the easiest of chapters to get complete, but with chapter 3 completed, run of the mill, earning 3 stars at the Broadway windmill. So on to chapter 4, our 4th and final chapter this week, Bodacious. Prove once and for all that your retro saloon is a cool car by winning a street scene event at Edinburgh Newtown. Now for this chapter, once again head on into your map, but this time filtering by street scene, making that easier to see and find. Now the race you're looking for is in Edinburgh, and it's on the right hand side of the city. Now if you don't have this race unlocked, just play through some of the street scene series, earning influence, leveling up the street scene series, and eventually you'll have this race unlocked. Now unfortunately I can't create a blueprint for the street scene series. What we can do to make this a little bit easier is put driver type difficulty on new racer, as it does not affect the weekly Forzathon challenges, and there's no reason to make it any harder than it needs to be, as we do need to win this race. Here we go then, Edinburgh Newtown in our retro saloon. Like I say, we do need a win, so just try and stay out in front. Obviously it's on new racer, making it that little bit easier to get this done. It should just be a cruise to the finish, and you've only got to do this race once. After a couple of minutes of racing, we're coming up to the end of our race. Across the line, first place. After winning the street scene race, Edinburgh Newtown, that's chapter 4, Bodacious, completed, finishing off this week's. That's not a bad shop. The first car for grabs, the 2019 McLaren 720S Spider, 600 Forzathon points. Second car for grabs, the 2018 Mini John Cooper Works convertible, 300 Forzathon points. 2 hats up for grabs, the classic top hat and the silver top hat, 75 Forzathon points for each of those. And if you're feeling lucky and got any spare Forzathon points knocking around, you've got 40 Forzathon points for a normal wheel spin. Or you can grab yourself a super duper wheel spin for 150 Forzathon points. At the 2018 Mini John Cooper Works convertible, there are currently none in the auction house at the point of recording this video, but it is available in Horizon Backstage for 1 Horizon Backstage pass. It is well worth the 300 Forzathon points, but this week I would be saving the 300 Forzathon points on this one. The 2019 McLaren 720S Spider is currently flooded in the auction house for around 10 million credits. It is well worth the 600 Forzathon points and is not available in Horizon Backstage. So if you don't own this car, definitely be picking it up this week. With that being said though, let's head on over to Horizon Backstage and check out this week's vote. Horizon Backstage is a short drive from the festival site and can be accessed from free roam. You can also hop into your pause menu, slide on over to the cars tab and enter Horizon Backstage from there. Last week's Horizon Backstage vote saw the Porsche 917 LH up against the Bugatti Divo, and with the Bugatti Divo receiving most of the votes, that is now available for purchase in Horizon Backstage. This week's vote, however, is Battle of the Porsches old versus new. Porsche 718 GTS up against the Porsche 906 66. For me, it's got to be the 718 GTS over the 906. I like the 906, but in this case, I prefer the newer Porsche. Let me know in the comments which one you're voting for. Let's head on over to Super 7 and check out this week's reward. Horizon Super 7 then, this week's reward is the Corvette C8 2020, only the third time we've seen it as a reward either in the playlist or the Forzathon shop. To add this to your garage, all you have to do is complete the 7 challenge cards within Super 7. But there we go, that's this week's Forzathon shop, the Horizon Backstage vote, this week's Super 7 reward, and this week's Forzathon challenges, Everyday Hero completed. 200 Forzathon points in the bank and 15% towards our spring season. If you have any questions about this week's Forzathon challenges, do drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to help you out. But as always though, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, definitely consider subscribing. Like I say, we are well on the way to 20,000 subscribers. We'll also be completing the rest of the festival playlists in the next couple of days. A like rating would be much appreciated. Stay safe and have an awesome day.